So perfect. Yeah, go ahead. Can you repeat that question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Leslie, do you believe that entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and essentially who our audience, really is, or people watching this right now, are they to have all of their makeup ducks in a row before they ever press record on the camera? Or is it a case of having kind of a like baseline understanding of what image you're portraying and then tweak it and improve it over time?
I love that question because I think it depends on where you are in your business. If you've already been doing business for a long time, or versus maybe being someone new that you're just starting your business. I think that, we've been thrown into this world now that is visual, DIY, but the consumer, I mean, just even over the past year, I feel is so much more sophisticated and our expectations are higher as to what, we visually want to see with someone, even if we don't know that, like, even if we aren't aware of that. But now, the nicer something looks, or the more professional, let's say, and polished you look, and you can still be kind of natural yoga girl. You don't have to, it's not a Kim Kardashian thing I'm talking about, but all of a sudden you're so much more pleasing to the eye and you're so much more convincing versus, kind of like setting up your, if there was a whole bunch of like plants coming out of here and pictures and, like there's all these different distractions and you can't necessarily hear the message as well. So
as someone who comes from a TV broadcasting background, obviously I recognize and understand the importance of image and being well put together and polished. And in fact, that was our job, for all those years that I was on live TV, that was part of the package, so to speak. So for me as a video strategist, it's a bit of a fine line because I do believe in taking imperfect action and progressing and making progress over perfection. But having said that, I agree, we have to take account of the image, and it does need to be something that we look at. It's not something to ignore. But get started and have, and I know that these are services that you offer with, whether you do it virtually or in person, to help people have the confidence to take those first imperfect steps, in terms of how they communicate, but they'll look more put together if they've talked to you first before they sort of hit the record button. So it's a fine line, but I think it is something that people have to address.
It is. And it's just like, so I'm going to share this because it's just like this conversation. We decided to record this conversation, right? And here I am with, Corona crazy hair. I've got a little makeup on.
Hashtag, by the way, Corona hair. That's definitely a hashtag.
But this is Corona hair because there are 5 million things that I need to be doing right now. And you and I had this scheduled, but we didn't necessarily have this scheduled to, turn it into a Facebook Live or launch it. But our content and our conversation is so awesome that it's just so much of value to people right now. So, again, it is that imperfect action.
It's a good example, and actually it's a great example of opportunity is around all of us all the time. We just have to be cognizant and recognize, and that's part of thinking like a content creator, which you did, Leslie. Mm-hmm. As we were having this offline conversation, you went, this is so good, we should record this, because now you're thinking like a content creator, and everyone should be thinking that way, right? Especially in the new age that we're in now, coronavirus and post-coronavirus. Yeah. We all are going to be should be thinking more like content creators in everything that we do all day.
Absolutely. And because, no one has gone through this before. So it's really a crazy, frightening, very unsettling time. And I kind of see a little bit of some different things going on. I think some people are just like, oh, cool, I'm going to collect unemployment. It's kind of a vacation. I don't know that is really a wise mindset to have. I'm not somebody that is a warrior by nature. However, I feel that if we really look at and plug away at what we need to do. And again, utilizing our talents and looking at where that need is, then we can stay afloat. We can help people and it's very interesting because, like, on a dime, granted, you and I are both in this industry, but I had to shut my studio doors, but I can still provide lessons online, which we've been doing for several years now with
Yeah.
clients all over the world. It's
Amazing.
just a new concept that no other makeup artists that I know of are really doing this. However, out of necessity now, this is what we can offer you, and you still have access to us, and our doors are closed. So
I did a Facebook Live, I can't remember when, but at one point recently, where I talked about the only people who are not freaking out right now are the people who have digital assets or have the ability to make them quickly. Those are the only people who are not really freaking out. I mean, yes, afraid, sure, certainly, of course, who wouldn't be under the circumstances, but that group of people, because they have a digital, they have the skill set and the digital kind of mindset of having already done something to bring their business online, as you have, right? With your ability to do makeovers for people virtually, that you brought your business online. What I do with video is I teach people how to do that, and it can do it that and deliver it online or in person, right? So the people who are not freaking out as much here and who have that mindset of like, well, there's this, I can still do that. And it's because of our ability to take the digital space and online and the technical and all of that, and use it to our advantage.
Right. And a lot of our potential clients, I would say, or people that are watching this, perhaps now, all of a sudden, in the past week or the past 2 weeks, their face has to be on camera because they're having to work from home. I mean, you even see it watching Good Morning America. I don't know necessarily that, some of the news anchors on there, like Robin Roberts, she's someone that is, has a compromised immune system. So she's working from home. I don't know if she has her makeup artist doing her makeup every morning.
Well,
she looks fantastic, but she might not, more than
think about all the people who have, again, felt forced to jump onto video and feeling unprepared and have found the courage to do it anyway. And I applaud that. That's awesome. They didn't have the opportunity to go and talk to you about getting makeup or they didn't get their roots done because they didn't anticipate that they were going to be on camera. So none of that was in place when they kind of were forced into this. So, but they did it anyway. And I want to commend that for all of those of you who are watching, who have been doing the lives and the Instagrams and all of that, despite not having your hair done and maybe having all of your, makeup kit perfect and all of that. But if you're going to continue to do this, now is that then after you've taken that imperfect action, then it's more of a question of, okay, well, what am I saying? How am I saying it? What structure am I using for my videos? For you, it's, do I have an essential makeup kit in place? How do I present myself? What is the image that I want to portray? And how does that relate to my brand? That's when you start really looking at fine tuning those decisions and making it better and better and better as you continue the process. Because it is a process, it's a process worth doing because it's about personal branding. It's about getting out there. It's about visibility and exposure. And you can't build a business without that today.
You can't. And that's where, having worked in film and television way prior to social media, it has become what we've created. I call it, being the protagonist of your brand. Before I would get a script, I read the script, we see who the protagonist is. Throughout all of our departments, we create these characters. Well, now we're in DIY world, and I call it bringing Hollywood home, because it's really that. I mean, because that's been your career. So you've had a whole team to make you look a particular way, and to, I'm sure you went to college and you learned how to speak and all that. But, I'm a makeup artist. I didn't go to broadcasting school, just like many other people that are all professionals now. And we didn't have access to all of this, but all of a sudden, here we are. And so I love your services because you've taken all of that and you give it to us to learn how to kind of put that together. And I love your organization.
Thank
Can
you.
you share a little bit about some of your latest offerings, I guess, or what your specialties are?
Mhm. Well, my specialty is smartphone, webcam, video production. So simplified video production. I focus more on the messaging, the structure, and helping people to figure out what is the lowest hanging fruit for you. Where are the opportunities for you to utilize video to grow your brand and business? And so certainly videos don't fall from the sky. They have to get made, they have to be produced, whether you do that yourself or someone on your team, or we do that for you, variety of different ways to make that happen. But we do specialize in strategic storytelling from that perspective. So my prior life, I was a national TV broadcaster and have done thousands of hours of live television over the course of my career. And a lot of that comes into play for how I teach what I teach now, with taking technology into account, social media into account. So one of the things I did, Leslie, in the last couple of weeks is I actually created a video strategy hotline.
Love that.
And yeah, it's interesting because I was like, what could I do? Like, how could I help? Because people need quick wins right now. They're jumping on video and they don't really know what they're doing. And so I opened up these 15-minute blocks of quick wins for people. So it's not like a long conversation. It's more of a, okay, what is the problem right now? Here's the advice I'd give you to tackle that. And it's great. I've done many of them over the last weeks, and people get great wins and like, oh my God, this is great. So off they go. So I did launch that. It's been so successful. I'm probably going to continue to do it. Like, it's because I love that people come on and they're like, oh, I never thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
So video strategy hotline might be sticking around. I do have courses, and I do online events and offline events and events, live events and all of that. But, I have a course called Uncover the Expert in You. It's expert positioning and video production over a 5-hour crash course.
Right.
So a variety of different ways that I do that, and a content calendar. You and I were just talking about content calendaring and the importance of having a system by which you keep things organized for yourself in terms of what is the video I'm going to make, when will it be published, what platform will it go on, and having that. You can have that on a whiteboard or something near you, but this is a digital version of that, and people can swipe that when they go to my YouTube channel and subscribe there. There's a swipe my content calendar link, and they can go in and get a video on what it is and how you should use it and why you need it, and download it for yourself and keep it on your computer and start using it.
Fantastic. And that's complimentary for people?
Yeah. Well,
wow.
There's 2 ways you can get it. You can see it right on the channel art for my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Or you can just go to contentcalendar.sherylplouffe.com and download it either way. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, it's I think it's helpful, and it's part of it's something that we don't often really think about and don't have necessarily a schedule, but it's so important to be consistent if you really want to be successful with video.
Yeah.
And content calendaring is something that I am teaching more of in the last while.
I love that. Sheryl, this has been fantastic. What an impromptu little recording we've done here.
That's how I roll.
But that's the world that we're in right now.
It
is. It's changed on a dime. And here we are just, chatting about all this kind of cool stuff. And people, they probably are wondering, like, why did I not know about you before? I need this right now. Because it's turned into their life.
I'd love to be able to share this with my audience as well. So can I turn the questioning over to you?
Absolutely.
And what are some things that our audiences need to know from a makeup perspective because of this, where we're at right now? They're jumping on video and have, again, the hair's not did, makeup's not done. Like, what do they do?
Well, I think what I like to do first off is I like to work with someone and kind of like what you said, you know, with that video strategy hotline. Well, we have a consultation to find out a little bit about you, and those are complimentary. So you could go to, you know, caracosmetics.com or studiocara.com, and you can just or, you know, or call us and find out if it's even something you need. Then I have what we call our impact makeover. And that's a 3-step process, and that can be virtual. So the first thing that we do is there's, you know, an assessment to find out what, you know, your style is, what the essence of you is, and then also, you know, what your brand is about and who your audience is. Because I feel that that's really important. You might have a particular, let's say you just hate makeup, you know, you just really don't like to deal with it, but maybe you're a high-level attorney, let's say, and your clients that you're wanting to attract are not, you know, nature kind of granola people, you know, for the lack of a better word. So then there's a disconnect with your audience and who you are. So that's really important to kind of figure out, because then around that, you start to create your look. And I feel like it's so important. Even though I'm a makeup artist, you know, I've got 5 million things to do. I obviously, you know, hair is kind of like not my thing, even though I'm a cosmetologist, but I want to have a look that I can be pretty quick. And today I do not have an on-camera look at all. So I just want you guys to know. So I put myself out there with Sheryl. Now she looks amazing. She's already done her strategy calls. She looks gorgeous, and she is camera ready.
Well, you didn't see me 3 hours ago, so that's okay.
I'm like okay, we've just shut things down. What's the next step? You know. So it's really, I think it's essential then to make sure, like you said, to then have the right products that you're going to need. You need particular products instead of just watching different YouTube videos of people that are these influencers teaching you all these different looks that they do on themselves. And, you know, it's like a maze kind of going through there. You need to understand your facial features, what you have that is your best asset, and you want to create something around that. And so that's what is key for me, is your personality. You know, obviously you look at Sheryl, what do you look at? You look at her gorgeous eyes. I mean, your hair is beautiful, your skin's beautiful, but, you know, that's what I'm looking at, and her gorgeous rosy cheeks, you know. So, because if you've got too much of something going on, then it can be very distracting. You know, whether that's going to be a little too much cleavage, or whether that's going to be you're too shiny and you watch the latest, you know, trending, strobing, shiny YouTube video, and all of a sudden it's just like you look like a little mirror ball, you know. So again, it's really finding that key look for you, and then learning something that's easy for you to duplicate. So, you know, like I've got a client of mine that lives in New York City. We did everything online. She's a very natural, just beautiful, natural kind of look, but she's a keynote speaker. And her keynote is also, it's very physical. Like she has a lot of movement, you know, and she's very kinesthetic. So, you know, for her, it wasn't about a super glam look, but it was something that she felt totally in her brand, and something that she, also, if she had a makeup artist, maybe that she didn't think that was, you know, keeping her on brand. So that's another huge thing for you that is so important. You know, don't be at the mercy of other people because they don't know your brand like you do.
That's right.
So, yeah. So I think that those things are key.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And so people can find out more about the virtual work that you do on your website.
Yes. Or, you know, Facebook, on our website at caracosmetics.com. studiocara.com, that's CARA. And, you can just check on impact makeovers. And that is kind of a process. We have all different types of things that we offer too, but that's really, kind of the key thing if you're in a virtual world, or an on-camera lesson. So we have two separate sets. Some of you are maybe not on camera, even though, we kind of created our impact makeover before the thrust of everybody having to be on webinars. So it is a little bit, so you're tweaked, like like you said, you go from your everyday look to maybe like you do speaking engagements to maybe an on-camera look. So you can progress with your technique, and we make it easy, but it is important to understand, that maybe you look beautiful every day, but maybe that foundation or that powder or those products are not necessarily the best for on camera. So that's kind of where we guide you.
And there are different considerations for on stage than off stage. Like if you're going out for a business meeting with someone at Starbucks, once we're able to do that again, that's a different thing than when you're on stage in front of 500 people in a stadium with like harsh lights at the top, from the top. And like those are, when you're on stage, it's a totally different thing that you have to approach your makeup in a different way. And then on camera, obviously other considerations. So it's so interesting that you bring that up, because if you are equipped to understand what it is that you're trying to accentuate, what you're trying to have people look at, and like you said, your best features, then you can address that appropriately for the circumstance.
Exactly. And, in the case of, and I'm sure you do keynotes, and you also, just like you're adapting your keynote to that audience, you can adapt, your wardrobe and your look to those audiences. So that's something, and it doesn't have to be daunting, but it is, now that you're fine tuning and understanding a little bit more about because it's your asset. So it just elevates you so much.
Do you get into that with wardrobe and like, do you kind of go down that path? Because
we do a little bit, definitely. Yeah, a little bit with that. I don't call myself a stylist by any means. We don't do even though I have done it with actually some of my clients. But we do talk about your whole look, hair, makeup, all of that together, and then can suggest some things as well, because it is a total package.
Well, I think we need to, or maybe you will, because you coined it, Corona hair. Hashtag Corona hair. It just needs to happen, because I think so many of us can relate to that right now. But don't let it be the thing that stops you, right? Like, find solutions, reach out to Leslie, figure out how you can start really embarking on putting your best foot forward on camera and on stage or in meetings, and really in any aspect of the building of your business, because it's about exposure and visibility. And you need that. You cannot build a business without it. And so for those of you who are sort of hanging back, hiding, continuing to be the best kept secret, this has taught us that those days are gone, and that you need to really start to embrace it. So thank you so much, Leslie, for sharing that.
Oh my gosh, thank you. And, for me also, it's you don't want to feel bad about yourself. I think a lot of women, and of course, as we age as well, we just don't like what we're seeing. And there are so many things that we can do, because, thank God we are aging, because there's another alternative to that, and that's not a good one.
Yes.
So it is okay. And I think that, women are beautiful at all different ages. And it is a matter of, with Sheryl's help and with my help, learning, how to position your camera. Lighting can make you look 30 years older and can make you look really bad. And so there's all of these little tips that together, I just love it. So thank you, Sheryl, because you are going to share all kinds of information to my clients as well.
I really feel, here is a situation in the world, unprecedented, historic, scary. And so many people, of course, gravitating to our lifeline, the video camera now. And if there's more that I can share to help people to embark, because I've been doing this for years, right? But now it's just, this is the thing, the catalyst that's pushed a lot of people to finally start to do it out of necessity rather than it being an aspirational thing. So video used to be an aspirational thing. It's like, oh, that'd be great. One day I'll do those videos. And that's what I hear so much. People talk about, oh, I've been thinking about it for a year, 2 years, 3 years. It's very common to hear people say because they're doing so many other things. Now we're being forced into it. And so it's not aspirational anymore. It's a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm trying to help with as many things as and ways that I can to help as many entrepreneurs as possible to utilize this new, you know, utilize video to grow your business. It's not new, maybe new to you, but it's the way things are going to be going forward.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, here we are. Thank you, Sheryl. Can you share once again how people can find you?
Yeah, I think that the easiest way would be like, go to my YouTube channel, look for my name, Sheryl Plouffe, at, on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. When you hit the bell, as you know, hit the bell, it will notify you when I do new videos and when I post in my community and that sort of thing. It's a great way to stay on top of the videos that I produce for entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants. There is a free content calendar that you can swipe there as well in the channel art, so be sure to do that. That's probably the best way. And then Video Strategy Hotline, it's calendly.com/Sheryl Plouffe/hotline. I know it's a little long, but we did it really quick, put this together so fast. And so you can do that. You can book 15 minutes of time with me to get a quick win and help you move forward with video.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we wish everybody, the best, good health and good wealth. So that's where we're at. And let's just hope that this will pass quickly.
Indeed.
Thank you.